Welcome to Netflix, your quick stop for movie recaps. Get all the highlights and mind-blowing twists in just minutes. Our movie today tells the story of the legend of the 10 rings, owned by this man. Some say he found them in a pit, others say he stole them. The rings gave him superhuman strength and the gift of immortality. He could have used them for good, but all he wanted was power. He built an army called the Army of the 10 Rings, and over centuries, the army spread across the world, causing the collapse of entire governments and altering the course of history. 1,000 years later, wealth and power were not enough for him. He began searching for a magical village called Ta Lo, where the inhabitants were trained in martial arts directly by their ancestors. His sole focus became reaching this village by any means necessary. He took his men and entered the enchanted forest surrounding the village, but the trees closed in on them and their vehicle fell. He managed to escape before the vehicle plunged down, continuing on foot through the forest until he encountered this girl standing there. He asked her for the entrance to the magical village. She told him, "You are not welcome here. Leave." He began using the power of the 10 rings and engaged in a fight with her. In the middle of the battle, he paused to watch her and admired her fighting style. She too was impressed by him. He believed himself to be the strongest man on earth, but the girl taught him a harsh lesson, defeating him soundly. Eventually, they married and had a son and a daughter. The boy grew up hearing his mother tell him stories about his father and the legend of the 10 rings. She gave him this pendant saying, "If you ever feel lost, this pendant will help you find your way back." Years later, the boy, named Sean, grew up and worked as a security guard. This is his friend, Katie, who is a reckless driver and loves to drive any car she fancies, even if it's not hers. Katie is Sean's only friend, and they spend most of their time together. The next day, Sean goes to Katie's house to pick her up for work. They take the bus to get there. While they're talking, a man approaches and demands the pendant from Sean. When Sean refuses, the man tries to take it by force, but Sean fights back. 2 others, who are with the man, join the fight. Katie tries to intervene, saying, "You must have the wrong person. He doesn't even know how to fight." But when one of them pushes her aside, Sean becomes enraged and fights them. Katie is stunned. Sean engages in a fierce fight with the 3, defeating them all. Afterward, the man with the missing hand reveals a sword-like weapon and attacks Sean. During their battle, the man cuts the bus brakes, causing an accident. The driver faints, so Sean takes control of the bus. The man with the sword tries to kill Sean, but Katie takes over driving while Sean continues to fight. The bus, which is made up of 2 sections, starts to split. Sean tells the passengers in the back section to move to the front. He pushes the man with the sword into the back section, which then detaches. After the bus comes to a stop, Sean searches for his pendant, but realizes the man with the sword has taken it. When they return home, Katie asks Sean what just happened. Sean packs his clothes and tells her he's traveling to his homeland because his sister is in danger from those men. Katie is shocked to learn he has a sister and asks why he never mentioned her. He shows her a letter from his sister with her address, and Katie insists on going with him. As they leave, Sean remembers his past. As a child, his father trained him in martial arts under the strongest soldiers in his army. Sean grew stronger year by year, with his father watching him train and learn from the world's greatest warriors. Eventually, Sean was able to defeat them all. His father then assigned him a mission to assassinate someone. On the plane, Sean tells Katie about his life, which she knew nothing about. She asks, "Did you complete the mission your father gave you?" He replies, "No, I ran away and came to live in America. My real name isn't Sean, it's Shang Chi." When they arrive in Shang Chi's homeland, Katie is amazed by the scenery. They get out of the car and enter the address written in the letter. In the elevator, a man makes Shang Chi sign a document. Shang Chi asks him about his sister, but the man doesn't reply. When they arrive, a young man greets them and leads them into a place filled with fighting arenas and betting. Shang Chi and Katie watch the fights. The young man informs Shang Chi that the document he signed was a contract to fight in a match. At first, Shang Chi refuses, but the young man insists, saying he must fight because he signed the contract. Shang-Chi reluctantly enters the arena, and Katie is shocked by his athletic physique. A girl enters the ring to fight him, and Shang-Chi is surprised to discover it's his sister, Xialing. She attacks him fiercely. Shang-Chi is bewildered and asks her to stop, but she continues to strike him. When he gets an opportunity to hit her, he refrains, asking why she's doing this. She ignores him and delivers a powerful blow, defeating him. After the match, Shang-Chi asks if she's the manager of the place. She replies, "No, I own it." He tells her their father sent men who took his pendant, and that they'll likely come for hers too. Xialing recalls the past, saying, "Do you remember when you said you'd return in 3 days? I waited for you for 6 years, and you never came back. After that, I ran away and built this place on my own. I didn't need you then, and I don't need you now." Shang-Chi shows her the letter, asking why she sent it. She denies sending it. Suddenly, the place is attacked. Xialing leaves Shang-Chi behind and escapes. Shang-Chi breaks a window, takes Katie, and lowers her onto scaffolding. The attackers follow them, and Shang-Chi fights them. One of the attackers tries to harm Katie, cutting the scaffolding rope. Katie dangles precariously, but falls, only to be saved by Xialing. Xialing then helps Shang-Chi in his fight, but one of the attackers steals her pendant and runs. Shang-Chi chases him, defeats him, and is about to kill him when his father suddenly appears and stops him. Shang-Chi realizes these men work for his father. The man hands the pendant to Shang-Chi's father, who greets him warmly, saying, "I've missed you." He takes Shang-Chi, Xialing, and Katie back to his empire. He builds it and tells his army that his son has returned home. Then Katie goes to the room with Xialing, and Katie tells her, "I've seen a lot, but your father is unparalleled." Shang-Chi goes to the place where he used to train and recalls the old days when he would train until his hands bled. His father would take him to treat his hands. Shang-Chi looks at the rings on his father's hands, and his father tells him, "If you ever want them someday, you must prove that you're strong enough to take them." They all sit down to eat, and when asked how he found them, his father says, "I've known where you and your sister were all along." He introduces Katie to his father, who begins telling her about his life story and the 10 rings. He explains that the 10 rings are his ultimate source of power and immortality, and that he has lived for over 1,000 years. He tells her about their mother, saying that when he met her, everything changed. He loved her with all his heart, and she made him see the world for the first time. She left her village and gave up everything to be with him. He, in turn, gave up the 10 rings to live a normal life with her. They married and had Shang-Chi, followed by Xialing. They lived a normal life like any married couple, and he finally found something worth growing old and dying for. He reveals his real name is Wenwu, and that his wife gave him that name. He takes them to his library and tells his children that after they ran away, he began communicating with their mother and researching her village, the mythical village of Ta Lo. He tells them he discovered the entrance to the village and that their mother is waiting for them there. Shang-Chi and his sister exchange confused looks. He tells them he hears their mother's voice and communicates with her, saying she told him she needs his help because the people of her village have imprisoned her and refuse to let her out. He insists he must go to free her. Shang-Chi argues that she's dead and that his father needs to accept that, but his father takes their pendants and places them in the eyes of a dragon, carving on the wall. Suddenly, the eyes change. Water flows out, filling the space, and a map of the forest containing the village appears on the ground, forming a maze. Wenwu tells them the village entrance opens at a specific time, which will be in 3 days, and he knows the path through the maze that leads to the gate. He says, "I brought you here to help me bring her back." When his daughter asks what they'll do if the villagers refuse to open the gate, he replies, "We'll burn the village down with everyone in it." Shang-Chi objects, so his father strikes him and Xialing, ordering his soldiers to take them and lock them up. While imprisoned, they hear a voice, follow it, and open a door to find a man talking to himself. Katie asks him who he is, and he introduces himself as Trevor, saying he's been imprisoned there for years. Suddenly, a strange creature appears, and Shang-Chi and Katie are frightened. They ask what it is, and Trevor tells them it's Morris. Trevor is the only one who understands Morris and communicates with him. Trevor tells Shang Chi that Morris says he knows him and that he grew up with his mother in Ta Lo. He explains that Wenwu took Morris from the forest while searching for the village entrance. Trevor says Morris wants Shang Chi to take him back to the village and claims Morris can lead them there immediately. While they're talking, Xialing creates an opening in the wall and tells them they can escape through the tunnels beneath the compound. She grabs car keys and they all get into a car to escape. Razor Fist spots them leaving and gives chase, but they manage to escape. Wenwu sees them fleeing and orders Razor Fist to prepare the men for war. They follow Morris's guidance through the forest maze, knowing that one wrong move could be fatal. After navigating twists and turns, they arrive at a waterfall. Morris tells them the village entrance is behind the waterfall. They pass through it, entering a mystical area with floating water, and suddenly, their car emerges into the magical village of Ta Lo. They see fantastical creatures, including Morris's family. They continue walking until they reach the village houses, where the villagers are waiting for them. As they step out of the car, Shang-Chi introduces himself, but an elder tells him to leave because he's not welcome. A woman intervenes, calming everyone, and introduces herself to Shang-Chi and Xialing as their aunt, Yingnan. Shang-Chi warns her that their father is on his way to destroy the village. Yingnan takes them aside and explains the history of Ta Lo, saying the village has existed for 4,000 years, and its purpose is to guard a gate that seals away a creature capable of destroying the entire world. Shang-Chi tells her that his father believes their mother is trapped behind the gate and plans to free her, but Yingnan explains that the creature is deceiving Wenwu by imitating his wife's voice to trick him into opening the gate. She says the creature wants to escape and wreak havoc. Xialing and Katie begin training, with Katie practicing archery. Shang-Chi trains with his aunt, who teaches him the magical fighting style of Ta Lo, which he had never learned before. Meanwhile, Wenwu sits wearing the 10 rings, imagining his wife. Shang-Chi reflects on his childhood, remembering when his mother trained him. Suddenly, people arrive and warn his mother to stay with her children. She confronts them, learning that her husband tried to destroy them and that they've come to kill him as revenge. Despite her efforts to protect her children, the attackers kill her. Wenwu returns to find Shang-Chi crying beside his mother's lifeless body. Wenwu puts the 10 rings back on and takes Shang-Chi with him to confront the gang responsible. He kills them one by one, telling Shang-Chi that blood debts must be repaid with blood. As Shang-Chi grows older, his father assigns him a mission to kill the gang leader who murdered his mother. Shang-Chi confesses to Katie that he lied to her. He didn't run away before completing the mission. He fled afterward. He says his mother died because of his father, and now he's here to destroy her village. He repeats his father's words about blood debts, saying, "I'm going to kill him." He leaves Katie and walks away. The next day, the villagers prepare for battle, and Xialing tells Shang-Chi that their father has arrived with his army, his own, and the villagers are all waiting for him. Chang's aunt tells his father that his wife is not there. The sound they hear comes from a creature that, if released, will destroy the entire planet. But his father doesn't want to listen to anything and insists on reaching the gate by any means. The battle begins, and the villagers join the army in a massive fight. Chang's father leaves them to fight each other and heads to the gate. Chang sees him and goes to stop him. He tries to talk to his father, but his father strikes him. Chang fights his father in every way possible, but his father is stronger and defeats him. He hits him hard, causing him to fall into the lake. His father reaches the gate and hears the creature's voice, which mimics his wife's voice, and starts striking the gate. From it emerge terrifying creatures that begin attacking the soldiers and stealing their souls. These creatures can only be killed with the villagers' weapons, made from dragon skin. The creatures take the souls back through the gate to feed their leader. The 10 Rings army unites with the villagers to stop these creatures, but more creatures attack them. At this moment, Chang, unconscious in the lake, suddenly wakes up to find the dragon in front of him. He rides the dragon, which starts killing the creatures. The villagers join in the fight, but the creatures attack them, killing some. Chang takes the dragon and heads to his father to stop him. He dismounts the dragon and fights his father, telling him that his mother is not behind the gate. Then, he uses the moves his aunt taught him and engages in combat with his father. This time, he uses the village's magical technique and manages to defeat his father. After a fierce battle, Chang gains control of the 10 rings and wields them. However, he throws them back to his father, as if to say they are meaningless. Suddenly, while they are standing, the giant creature emerges from the giant creature emerges from behind the gate and attacks them. Chang's father saves him but gets caught by the creature, which starts to drain his soul. Chang's father looks at his son and throws the rings to him, giving them to Chang before dying. Zhu rides the dragon, which confronts the creature. She goes to Chang, who joins her on the dragon. They chase the creature, which is heading toward the village. The dragon tries to drown the creature in the water, but the smaller creatures come and feed its souls. It regains its form and emerges from the water, grabbing the dragon and attempting to take its soul. The creature grabs Zhu and pulls her, but Chang holds onto her. Zhu shoots an arrow at the creature, hitting it before it can take the dragon's soul. The dragon pulls the creature underwater and begins to drown it. Chang leaps onto it and strikes it with the 10 rings, which penetrate its heart. Chang controls the rings mid-air and kills the creature. Afterward, his sister arrives on the dragon and takes him. They return to find many villagers have died. Chang hugs Katie. That night, they all gather to light candles for the souls of the deceased. And that's how the movie ends. I hope you enjoyed the film.